Hello and welcome, my Spinal Hygiene members. It's Wednesday, January 17th. It happens to be my, now 8-year-old's birthday today. And so that was fun. We celebrated before I left the house this morning a little bit, and then we'll do some more celebration when I get home this evening. So a special day for me anyway. It's been a great week here in Houston. It has been freezing cold. I know it's been freezing cold everywhere in the country, but it's rare to have that kind of weather here in Houston. It's actually been shut down. Yesterday, our office was closed because icy roads and all kinds of things. So craziness here in Houston, but it's going good. Last weekend, I spoke at the I didn't speak. I had a booth at the Remarkable Practice Seminar in Phoenix, and that was really good. Great seminar, great people. And then this weekend, I will be traveling, I'm speaking 2 sessions on a cruise seminar going to Cozumel. I know, I have it rough, right? But I speak on Friday, and then we have Saturday in Cozumel, and then on the way back, I speak on Sunday, and then we get home Monday morning. So that should be good. And that's why today's topic is what it is: A to Z lunch and learns and spinal safety lectures. And that's what I'm going to be, that's one of my sessions that I'm going to be speaking on the cruise this weekend. People who paid over $1,000 to be there will be getting this information that I'm going to share with you today. So, I'm going to be very candid as we talk, because you guys know me and you've been training here before. But as we go through on, on my lecture this weekend, of course, I'll let them know that my wife and I run 2 practices here in Houston, Texas. And not just 2 practices, but 2 large, thriving offices. And not just 2 large, thriving offices, but I think it's cool. I think it's a unique thing that we are all cash. We are 100% cash practice, and we thrive. We do really well with it. And one of the reasons is because we understand marketing, or at least to a certain degree. I'm always trying to improve and learning and all these types of things. I have some good friends who I'm learning from all the time. I have seminars that I go to all the time and I learn from as well. Our office is actually coached through the Remarkable Practice with Dr. Stephen Franson. I'm part of Roberto Monaco's Chiro Speaking Club. I pay every month membership, just like you do, for a lot of different memberships, because I know that it's an investment in myself. It's an investment in my practice. I'll be able to share a lot of great things with you, and my offices will grow because of it. And so when I started getting 30 to 40 new patients plus a month consistently, on big months, we'll have 60 plus new patients. I realized it was because marketing had to become something that was extremely important. And I think the 2 most important things that you can do in your office would be marketing and training. You know why? Because it's really the service that you give is most important, and you want to make sure that you get great results, which is also very important. But you can't do that unless you have people in your office. So marketing automatically becomes the most important thing. Now, I know a lot of people are like, no, go and understand your technique and become a great. And yes, that's the foundation. So you have to be great. I've found that out. I always wanted to be a great chiropractor, but when my son Jaden had heart surgery, I realized I want that heart surgeon to be the best in the world. Like, I want them to be so professional. I actually thought about it. Like, I was like, that heart surgeon cannot drink too much coffee this morning before he has surgery on my son. That heart surgeon cannot have an argument with his wife that day and not be 100% when he does the surgery on my son's heart. Like, I thought about that. I was like, this heart surgeon has to be the best, right? And so that's the way I look at myself when it comes to my technique. Like, I know I'm not a heart surgeon. I know if I don't make one tiny little move wrong on an adjustment, my patient won't die. Look, I get that, but I still want to take it just as serious as that heart surgeon, because when a mom comes in with a baby and they're putting that baby in my hands to adjust them, they trust that I'm the best and that I will not adjust that baby wrong. And that's why I went through the ICPA certification course. That's why we train in my office. That's why when interns come in my office, we train. So I know that technique is important. But when it comes to a business, the most important thing is marketing, okay? Because you can't have people to work on unless you market, at least in the beginning. Yes, once people realize you're the greatest adjuster in the world, maybe they'll come without marketing or just through referrals or something. But until your business gets huge, marketing is the most important thing. Even then, I think marketing is still probably the most important thing, okay? So that's what we're going to cover today. And one of the ways that I grew these two practices and that we continue to grow these two practices are lunch and learns. And oh man, yesterday the whole city was shut down because of the freezing cold. And it just so happened it was the biggest, because we do neuropathy in my office too. And I know I'm subluxation based, and every person who comes in with neuropathy goes through my corrective care plan spinally as well. And they also do laser and infrared and stuff on their feet if they have neuropathy. But the reason I do that is because my mom had severe neuropathy. She was a type 1 diabetic. She had neuropathy so bad it turned into Charcot joint, put her in a wheelchair. At the age of 47, she passed away. And anyway, just people with neuropathy, that touches my heart because nobody's helping them. All they're doing is taking Lyrica or Neurontin or some type of pain pill and just sitting there and getting worse. So we're helping them correct their spine, and we're helping them with diet, and we're helping them through other factors that I can help people with, right, in neuropathy. So that's my covering my bases on the reason why we use neuropathy in my office. But anyway, last night we were supposed to have the biggest neuropathy talk of the year. I mean, there was like 65 people reserved for the neuropathy presentation at this senior, not senior living, but the senior community organization, right? 65 people lined up. They canceled it because of the freezing cold and ice and all this stuff. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be huge. But we'll get to reschedule one of these days. Anyway, what I'm saying is I do these lunch and learns constantly, week in and week out, okay? So I want to show you, today we're going to cover 4 ways, okay, to set up lunch and learns or talks, okay, lectures. I'm going to show you exactly how to set up those lectures. Then we're going to touch on how to give a top-notch spinal safety lecture, because a lot of times a spinal safety lecture or spinal safety and ergonomic lecture can get you in the door, okay? And then I'm going to touch on how we maximize our close for the most effectiveness and the most new patients that sign up. How's that sound? All right, got to do that all pretty quick. Let me take a drink of water. I don't know if you've been watching these trainings much, then you know what we're talking about today, but 4 ways to set up lectures, okay? First is what I call internal. Now, internal means you are setting up these lectures with your current clients or your patients that you have in your office. There are a few ways that we advertise this or that we set these up. The first thing is what I call day 3. Okay, day 3 is important. Let me explain to you day 3, because day 3 might be day 2 in your office, or day 3 might be day 5 in your office. I'm not sure, but let me show you what I mean by day 3. Exam is day 1. Report of findings is day 2. And on day 2, we give financials and recommendations. So if the person takes our recommendations and pays the financials, then we schedule them for their next visit, which is day 3. So day 1 exam, day 2 report of findings, day 3 their first full visit to our office, where they'll get the walkthrough, the education, the adjustments, showing them how to do their rehab, give them their home exercises. Okay, so that's day 3. So day 1 exam, day 2 ROF, day 3 first full visit. When we sit down with them to go over their spinal hygiene kit, we grab a piece of paper that has the first thing that we do is we schedule them for our dinner workshop, which is number 4 on this list here of how you set up talks. Okay, so we'll cover that in just a second. But we schedule them for the dinner. So we do our dinners first Monday of every month. And then right below that is blanks that actually say, can we come do a lunch and, can we come do a lunch and learn at your place of business or at your church? Or do you have a community or organization or a group that meets? Or we could even do it in your home for 5 or more people. Now, we ask them that on day 3. Now, would any of these be available for us to set or schedule this with you? And even if you get a no, or I can't think of anything, or maybe, you are going to, if you're asking them that, you're doing more than most chiropractors, right? That's day 3. You have to sit down and have a sheet that says, can we come to your office? Can we come to your house? Can we come to your organization? Do you have any place that Dr. Tabor can come and educate people about what you've learned and share with others, right? Okay, so we also do emails, flyers, and table talk. So if you're going to take a week, like say this is the first of the year, January, and you want to schedule out your lunch and learns, so maybe every quarter you do this. You put flyers up around the office that says Dr. Tabor's trying to schedule as many lunch and learns as he possibly can. His schedule is filling up. Please get with the front desk, schedule lunch and learn at your place of business today, right? So make those flyers, hang them up. Then during that week, when they come in, your table talk, when they come in and sit at the table, you're going to be like, hey, this week we're promoting lunch and learns. Do you have a place of business or anywhere I could come, bring lunch, educate people about the spine, health and wellness? Emails, write an email, send an email blast. Say, this week we're scheduling our lunch and learn. Schedules are filling up fast. Can Dr. Tabor come bring lunch and share spinal health with your work, your organization, all of those things. So first way to do that is internal. You want to do that inside your office. The second thing that we do is telemarketing. Okay. Now, nobody likes the word telemarketing, but basically it's just calling businesses. Now, you can go by and do it personally. That's fine. If you have the time to do that, you can drop by. It doesn't really change. We're going to do the same exact thing. Here's what we do. We're going to call them with an outline. I call an outline, not a script, okay? But the outline is, we pay them a compliment. We tell them about our community outreach, and then we tell them how it's benefiting us, okay? So it might sound like this. We call a local vitamin store or gym or something, and we say, they say, hello, this is Mary. You say, hi, this is Dr. Tabor with Pure Life Family Wellness, and I'm working on finishing up my speaking schedule for this quarter. I'm wondering if we might be able to get in and do a lunch and learn presentation with your employees, or even with any of your customers, maybe set something up to do a class or a workshop. I provide lunch, and it just allows us to share spinal health and wellness message. It also allows us to give back to the community. So that's the outline. And then all you do is close with this and say, I know you're really busy, but if I could just get an email or a contact from you, I can actually send you more information about our workshops. That's it. So all we're trying to do is get a lead. We're not trying to call and actually schedule it over the phone. If you do, that's great. But we're trying to call and get a lead. A lead is important, right? A lead is something you would pay for. You would pay on Facebook $10 to $100 per lead. And so all you have to do is call these businesses, tell them who you are, that you're near their office. We're practically neighbors. I'm doing an outreach. We're doing workshops where we provide lunch, teach about spinal health and safety. And all I ask is, can I get an email and maybe send you more information on those workshops? Boom. You're going to get a lot of leads by doing that. Once you get the lead, then you're going to send them the email with all the information, the flyer, maybe do a speaker flyer that you have, and then continue to contact them back and forth through the emails, trying to set that up. That's all you do. That's telemarketing, right? So the hardest part is just making a list of businesses around you, getting their phone numbers, sitting down, setting aside some time, and actually calling and doing that over and over and over and over, okay? The third thing is networking. Network is important, and a lot of people go to networking events, but they're not effective when they're going. They're sitting there, and you're talking one-on-one, you're just giving your elevator pitch, or maybe you're sitting around in a circle. I know when I was going to BNI, this is what they did. Everybody got 30 seconds. You stood up, said who you were, and say, basically, you'd say, a great referral for me is someone with back pain, neck pain, or headache, someone that we can help them get back on their feet, get their health right, and who cares about the health of themselves and their family, right? What I want you to do, though, I want you to still go to as many networking events as you can, or get your staff going to those networking events. But what I want you to do is change your elevator speech. So when you're going up and you're talking to someone, or if you're standing up and presenting, I want you to say, a great referral for me is someone who is in charge of HR, or is the owner of a company, someone who has the authority to actually set up health workshops inside their office. My doctor, if you're a staff member or if you are a doctor, you say, my office will actually supply lunch to all of your employees. I'll come and do the best spinal health workshop and ergonomic workshop you've ever sat through. I promise we'll deliver a ton of value, but it's a great community outreach that really helps us a lot. So if you could, anybody that could set that up for me, that would be the best thing. So now instead of getting one referral, you're getting a referral of a talk, right? A lunch and learn, and you can turn that into 20, 30 new patients, okay? Whew. I tell you what, I always get to yawning when I get talking. So weird, and my brain needs oxygen. Maybe I need to slow it down. I've actually been told that. I think Roberto told me that. I got a little bit of a calic on the front of my hair. Roberto told me to slow down. Okay. Let's see. All right, day 3. The first one was internal. We want to talk to our patients. The second one was telemarketing or in-person marketing. If you want to go to the places of business, that's fine. You basically just pay them a compliment, tell them about your outreach, tell them about how it benefits you, ask them for a lead. That's it. Ask them for their email. The third thing we covered was networking. You want to get in all the networking events, but you want to change your elevator speech to not attracting one referral each time, but actually attracting a lunch and learn presentation, okay? The fourth thing is actually setting them up yourself. Now, why wait? I always, this is crazy. We always want to get out in the community and we want to go into a business to give a lecture, but we have to wait to schedule that. You have to work hard to talk to people. You have to try to get into their business to do that, which I think you should, but why wait for that to conspire? Why not schedule your own talk and your own workshop? And that's what a dinner workshop is. You don't have to do it at dinner. It's just most people don't have time to do it around lunch. You can do a lunch workshop at a local restaurant. You can just use their private room if you want to. We do that, but we do dinner workshops for my patients. We do dinner workshops the first Monday of every month at 6:30 p.m. We invite all of our patients every month and encourage them to bring friends and family. We advertise it on Facebook. We average 20 to 30 people per month that are at that dinner. Sometimes we've had as much as we had 120 people at our Christmas dinner. So it could be huge for you, and you don't have to wait for a business to contact you or to get back to you or to email you back before you can do a talk. You can set your own up, and that's what we call the dinner workshops. And all you have to do is find a restaurant that has a private room, not a semi-private room, private room. I've done it in the semi-private room, means one side's kind of open to the restaurant and it's loud and people are dropping things and they will not be courteous to you and quiet just because you're talking. You want a private room, okay? We pay $20 a plate at our restaurant that we do. I say anywhere around there is fine. I've paid up to $26 a plate. I've paid as low as $12 a plate at some places. The key is you want to have a pretty nice restaurant, or at least not a fast food chain restaurant, okay? You don't want McDonald's, right? You want a place where people would come and enjoy themselves. Let's see. All right, and then how do you promote your dinner workshop? Well, you use the methods that we've already covered in number 1 of this, which was the day 3, the flyers, the table talk, and the emails. So the same way that you're trying to get into people's businesses, you can set up your own lectures and build them and grow them while you're actually trying to get into people's businesses to do it as well. I mean, boom, this is it. This is all you need, man. This is an amazing marketing strategy. Just keep it up, keep it going, be consistent with it. So how do you give a top-notch spinal safety lecture? Because we talk a lot about lunch and learns. I do my dinner workshops a little bit differently. You guys have seen my dinner workshops inside the members area. You see me giving a live dinner workshop. Whew. I'm sorry, excuse me. But also, there's a spinal safety lecture PowerPoint that's inside that members area too, okay? All right, so use that PowerPoint, listen to me do that lecture. I'm not going to go through the entire lecture and with you, but here's basically what I do for my spinal safety lectures. I start off with the rules and regulations of spinal safety and ergonomics. Okay, so we talk about lifting, we talk about bending, we talk about sitting long periods of time. We talk about why sitting is stressful to the spine, why lifting improperly is stressful to the spine. Show them kind of better on how to lift, right? So we're getting into that nitty gritty of what they've heard a million times. Okay, and then what I do is to transition. I say, how many of you have heard this before? And everybody raises their hand. And I'm all right. So there's nothing different here. But what I want to tell you is that a healthy spine is always less likely to be injured than an unhealthy spine. If you have a healthy spine, you could bend and pick up the wrong way. You could sit for longer times. Like, you could do the stressful things that some people do and not be injured. People do that all the time. You've seen people lift something wrong and they didn't get injured. Why? Well, maybe their spine was strong, it was healthy. So right now, what I want to do is I want to transition from all the things not to do. I want to transition into the things to do to create a healthy spine for every single one of you. How does that sound? Great. So let's look at what is a healthy spine. Then I take them through the before and after x-rays and all that stuff like that, show them what a healthy spine is. But basically, it's our spinal hygiene foundational premises. It's number one, the spine should be in a good alignment. Number two, the spine should move through a full range of motion. Number three, the muscles around the spine should be strong and balanced. Those three things that encompasses a pretty dang healthy spine. If I see a spine that's in a great alignment, if I see a spine that moves through a full range of motion, even segmentally as well as globally, if I see a spine that the muscles are strong and fit and balanced around it, I'm going to tell that person they have a healthy spine. All right. And I guarantee you that person is going to be less likely to be injured than that person whose posture is off, their muscles are weak, and they have no range of motion and are so stiff, right? And that's just the facts. A healthy spine always less likely to be injured than an unhealthy spine. That's basically what I base my transition from spinal safety and ergonomics to let's talk about a healthy spine. And then when I close, then I say, I want every single person in here to have a healthy spine. If you don't have a healthy spine, you need help. And let's discover that together. So I move into the close, okay? Now I'm going through that presentation really fast, but if you look in the members area, you'll see that entire PowerPoint and you'll see that whole presentation that I give, so you can kind of look at that. But here's how I close my talks, okay? Now I offer a special health evaluation, a special spinal health evaluation to everybody that is there. And then I tell them about my process, okay? I say that it's a 2-day process. On the first day, you're going to come in. You'll sit down with me. We'll do your exam. We'll go over your health history, any injuries you've had in the past. We'll go over all the symptoms that you're having right now. And then we'll get any necessary tests that we need, whether it's orthopedic tests or range of motion tests or x-rays that are very important so that we can actually see the health of your spine. Now, here's what I do next, and I think it's very important. I learned this from Roberto for maximizing your close rate is always price compare before you reveal your price, okay? So here's what I do. I say, now, let's say that you could go to the hospital and get a spinal health evaluation. You can't. They don't even do it, but let's say you could, all right? And you go for a 2-day process. The first day you're sitting down with doctors, they're gathering all this information, they're doing all these orthopedic tests and all this imaging. The second day you're going back, sitting down with the doctors again, they're going over your report of findings, they've read your x-rays, they've written reports on there. How much do you think that process would be in a hospital? Anybody throw out some answers? You're going to get thousands of dollars. Like, that's what they're going to say. Now, if I'm not getting that from the audience, like they're not saying, oh, $5,000, right? Then here's what I do. I say, you know what? I had a friend who all he had was food poisoning. It wasn't even anything related to the spine, but he had food poisoning. He went to the hospital because he was really dehydrated. All he stayed was for 6 hours. Now, they gave him some IV fluid, and then they sent him home 6 hours later. Guess how much his bill was? $7,500 for 6 hours in the hospital. That's over $1,000 an hour that they can charge you. How crazy is that? I promise you, none of your bill in my office will ever be that much, right? Okay, now the entire process in my office, 2 days, all the necessary x-rays, exams, time with me, everything is normally $297 in my office, but I want to do something really special for all of you. I really appreciate you allowing me to be here. That entire exam, all your testing and x-rays for only $117. I only ask 2 things, and this is what I close with here. I only ask 2 things, guys. Number 1, if you want that discount, please schedule that here with me before I leave. The reason I say that is because sometimes we've had people call, post talk a couple days, and then my staff has to run around and see where you are from, what discount you get, all these types of things. It's just harder on my staff. So I would really appreciate it if you want that discount. Please make that appointment with me today. And the only other thing that I ask is that if you do make that appointment, you what? And I literally say it just like that. If you do make that appointment, you what? And the whole audience says, keep it. And I'm like, yes, please. That's a very valuable time in my office that I set aside just for you. And it's very important. If you do have to miss it, please call ahead and let my staff know. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. That's it. Boom, shakalaka. And you close her down. All right, so that's basically the presentation I'm going to give. It probably take me a little bit longer in a setting where they don't know who I am, right? But that's it, man. That's the Lunch and Learn the Spinal Safety tour, the lecture tour, man, that you guys can go on. That's how you set them up. You just have to do this stuff consistently. There's 2 factors in your success. Number 1, well, maybe 3. Let's say there's 3 factors in your success. Number 1, knowing what to do. We just explained it, exactly what you should do. Number 2, actually taking the action and implementing this on just doing it. Like just literally saying, okay, let's get started, set it up, go. The third thing, and the most important thing for your long-term success, is your consistency in implementing this. The more you do it over and over, the more calls you make, the more flyers you put up, the more day 3s that you do, the more networking events that you go to, the more dinner workshops that you have, consistently, the more you will grow and the better you will do, and your office will show, it'll explode. All right. All right, guys. Appreciate you being here. Let me go ahead and see if anybody has any questions, comments below this. Okay, we're good there. I hope you guys, I'd like to see some more interaction in the Facebook groups, if you can. Thinking about opening this Facebook group up to not just members. That way we can get some more action, some more people talking, and I think that will help us back and forth if we're able to share what's working, what's not working. So maybe give me some feedback on that. But all right, guys, appreciate your day and your time. Hope this training was helpful for you, and I'll let you know how my cruise seminar goes. I think it's gonna be really cool. It'd be nice to get out of this cold weather for a little while. And you guys just keep on pushing, man. Keep going forward. It's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a great year. All right, have a great one. Bye.